So just a couple of hours ago, we had Bitcoin absolutely tank by over 10% in what felt like a few minutes. And in fact, it was like 20 minutes. I was watching it on the chart. But we spoke about in earlier today's video that BlackRock or one of these entities may have been behind the manipulation. And is that manipulation over, or are we going to see a little bit more blood in this market before the Bitcoin ETF is hopefully approved? That's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be looking at the chart and having a look inside of my brain to tell you guys and to figure out what I think is going to happen next. And of course, because I don't have a crystal ball and I'm not a financial advisor, I don't know for sure, but this is how I'm playing this game. And let's jump into it. First of all, if you guys have not joined HG Access yet, this is the new alpha play that me and a bunch of my friends have launched. We are all influencers. We all have access to a lot of information that retail investors do not have access to. And we thought, enough's enough. We want to make a place where everyone can get this information. And just 5 hours ago, we provided an alpha play, which is up 17%, even in this crazy market. All right, guys, so we have a number of winners. This is our winner board here. We've only started back in December 20th, and we've had so many winners already. And basically, you're going to get alpha reports on a bunch of altcoins, utility coins, micro caps, meme coins, pre-launches, and narrative plays. And you're going to have access to all of the knowledge that every single one of these guys has access to, which is 30 to 300,000 followers each, and all of the information that comes from behind the scenes having that sort of following. With that said, the link is down there in the description, and let's jump over to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin now is at 42,900. If you watched my videos over the last couple of days, well, the last 12 hours, you would have seen the video where the market crashed. We can see we dropped off an absolute cliff here at over a 10% drop. We got 10.46% drop. Of course, on this channel and the way I trade, I never panic, okay? I had stop losses in place on my leverage trades, so a lot of them got closed. A lot of them were already in a lot of profit, so it was great. Some of them stayed open, the ones that weren't very big. And of course, we bounced. I added to those positions. I started new spot positions, and I started new leverage positions. So we've been making money even in this market, up 10%, up 124%, up 131%. And again, if you want to stay up to date with my trades, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. But guys, what do I think is going to happen next? Well, I had a look at the charts, right? I zoomed out a bit and I found another area where we had almost an identical drop happen. That was right here on December 11th. Most people forgot about this because we have been in a bullish momentum ever since then. You can see over a few hours, we dropped 7.74%. Now, what happened next is what I found most interesting, and that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys. You can see we had this initial drop, then we wicked all the way back up. You can see within that 1 hour candle, we came all the way down and all the way back up. Then we had a green candle that followed it, some sideways action, and a push to the upside. So from the bottom, you could have traded that and you would have made 5% on Bitcoin alone in just a few hours. But what happened next is what's most interesting. And we can see here that that was clearly up and then down and then up and then down and then up. All right. So how do we figure out if this is going to happen again? Well, what I've noticed here is the sentiment hasn't really changed. There was mass panic here, but since we've come back up, the sentiment around Bitcoin and crypto is still very, very bullish. If we look at the liquidations, we can see that there is a lot of liquidations that sit now at around the $41,800 to $42,000 mark, meaning that people got incredibly long in this region. What I think is going to happen next is going to be a repeat of what happened back here, okay? I think that this is going to happen again. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing at all, but it does mean that more leverage is probably going to be flushed out of this market because people who are sitting on very green positions in Bitcoin, like this, we have a very green position in Bitcoin. It's actually much higher than this because it's at 42,008 now, but they're not taking profits because they think we're going to go higher. Now, I always differentiate between my short-term trades, which is this Bitcoin trade, and my long-term. I am in a long-term Bitcoin swing trade, let's call it, because it's very long-term. I will sell my Bitcoin eventually, some of it, but I bought more spot yesterday at $40,000, more spot, right? And I'll just hold that. I won't sell it. But this position, the leverage position, I've already taken a ton of profit out of this. So I made the profit But that's not how most people trade. They get over leveraged and then they get excited and then they probably add more leverage as we head up. So if we see what happened last time here, we pushed back up. We convinced everyone that the bull market was back on in the short term, and then we dumped right down and destroyed all of that leverage, right? So that got out the leverage, got a lot of people, a lot of money. We came up again, people got excited again, and then dump the market again. And at this point, this is where most likely people started to go, you know what, I'm not going to buy it again because it's going to dump. I'm going to start shorting the market here. You can see sideways action and then a push upwards. And then we continue to head upwards really from there. Of course, we came down, but this is the choppy change max pain I've been talking about in this market. So if we have a repeat of that, we're going to go up a little bit from here. People are going to get over leverage, which we can see already starting over here. We can also see here long positions in an hour. We got short and long, so choppy change, and people are going to get too long, and then the market may drop down again, right? If we jump this, if we copy this here, we can see that was a 7% move. So this one right here was around a 5% move. So if we continue from where we are now, and then we have a drop, 5% would put us around $40,000. So it's possible that we do another $40,000, right? We go down there again, which is pretty much the same place as we went before, just a little bit higher. Technically, those would be fine, be higher high, higher low, if anything, but that will just get loads of people out of the market before what could potentially be the biggest move upwards we've seen in a long time. The market dropped like this, like a stone on some news that Matrix Port said. The SEC chair, Gensler, is not embracing crypto, and it might even be very long shot to expect he would vote to approve Bitcoin ETFs. That's what they said. This is opinion. And the market dropped on an opinion, all right? So if they actually don't approve the Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin's going to drop a lot more than this, in my opinion. So make sure you have your positions, your stops in there. You have your emotions ready if that happens. If Bitcoin drops 50%, right? It's on the cards. If it drops 50%, are you going to buy more or are you going to panic? Okay, that's the question you have to ask. Same said for Ethereum, for Solana, for AVAX, for ADA. If these drop significantly, are you going to be the person who's buying the dip or are you going to be panicking? In the market right now, if you're going to be panicking and you're going to think that the market is over, you got too much exposure to the market, okay? So protect yourself, put in stops, only hold things that you believe in for the long term. And that's kind of what I think is going to happen. I do hope that the Bitcoin ETF gets approved. I am positioned for that to happen with all of my leverage positions, with all of my spot positions. I believe it is going to happen, but I believe that we're going to have more blood in this market, just like we had here, just like I was expecting. Now, I've been saying and warning in my own Patreon that I thought this was going to happen, right? I've been saying protect your downside. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Be careful of impending ETF doom if it's not improved. And I kept telling people to make sure that they have their stops in place, okay? So if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing in this market, there is a link to my Patreon. And I wanted to just let you know, I posted this crypto here. If you put $250 into this when I posted it, it would be worth right now $7,000. That would be 20 years worth of my Gold Plus membership that gives you access to my trades. So if you want to stay up to date with my trades, the link is in the description. If you want to come and get some intense alpha, we have HG access. And of course, if you do want to trade and use the exchanges that I personally use, the links are down there in my description. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.